Well, with Super Showdown this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to welcome each and every one of you to this go-home edition of Monday Night Raw. We are live and sold out right here in Houston, Texas. How are you all doing? My name, of course, is Dominic behind the commentary table, and we are kicking it off with a match that has been building for the past few weeks. It's going to be that woman right there, the woman who got a decisive victory over Carmella a few weeks ago before being attacked by Raw's newest female combatant. It's going to be Dakota Kai taking on the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Okay, Dakota Kai, the captain of Team Kick. She's never met an opponent quite like Charlotte Flair. However, Charlotte Flair, I can confidently say, has never particularly met a woman like Dakota Kai. Okay, both women extremely talented in their own rights. And tonight, Charlotte Flair is going to have a tough task ahead of her. Okay, she decided to attack Dakota Kai, make a massive impact in her debut here on Monday Night Raw after being traded over from Friday Night SmackDown. And so, she already might have the psychological advantage coming into this one, saying, hey, I can attack you, I can take you down. Dakota Kai, can you say the same? That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're going to be finding out in just a few short moments. This is going to be a hot night of action, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we've got the Raw Tag Team Champions going toe-to-toe against the War Raiders before their upcoming match at Super Showdown against Gallows and Anderson. And we got a massive main event, Fatal 4-Way United States Championship matchup. More on all of that later in full detail, but right now, there you see her, the daughter of Ric Flair. One of the best pound-for-pound female competitors on Monday Night Raw, or hell, even on Friday Night SmackDown, in her opinion. Okay, she feels as though she has been underutilized on the blue brand, deciding, hey, you know what? Perhaps I could get traded over to Monday Night Raw, and she was, apparently for Kairi Sane, who made her debut on SmackDown just on the last episode of the blue brand. However, right now, it's Dakota Kai and Charlotte Flair right out of the gate. Dakota Kai showing off her fancy footwork there with a boot right to the face. However, oh god, Charlotte trying to charge in with the clothesline, and Dakota Kai with feet full of fury taking down Charlotte Flair there. Bounces off the ropes, goes for another kick. However, Charlotte Flair, strikes back with that famous Ric Flair chop. But Dakota Kai takes her down now. And here we go. Look at that. The incredibly unique strikes by Dakota Kai. However, there you go, Dakota Kai seemingly having the upper hand right now. Charlotte Flair definitely not looking too good in her Monday Night Raw return. After being traded over with a kick right to the chest by Dakota. 1, 2. No, only a 2 count. Charlotte Flair, I don't think she particularly expected this level of fury, this level of heart, and just absolute anger. And there you see Dakota Kai challenging Charlotte Flair, saying, come into this ring, I dare you. And that's exactly what's happening. Goes for a punch, however, does Dakota Kai. But now it's Charlotte Flair who's on the attack finally, and this could be the moment that turns it around for her as she turns around Dakota Kai, taking her down to the mat. And there you see once again that confidence by Charlotte Flair on display, the cockiness, the ego that is always inflated. However, right now, that neck breaker takes down Charlotte Flair by Dakota Kai here. Oh my god, and then a wicked chop there. One that would make Ric Flair himself proud. Oh my god, if it was only by his daughter, however, as Charlotte takes down Dakota Kai with that massive German suplex, and then goes after the knee, goes after the leg, and then uses her own leg to kick down Dakota Kai, trying to keep her down on the mat. And now, oh god, there you see once again after the leg. And Charlotte Flair, there you see her. Once again, the cockiness, once again, the ego on display. However, right now, always like Dakota Kai goes for some sort of a cutter, perhaps. Charlotte Flair counters, has her up. Oh, look at that. Backpack stunner there, taking her down. Oh, and then a kick right to the gut for good measure. And then a kick to the leg again. Okay, perhaps trying to set up for that figure 8 later on down the line. But right now, Dakota Kai is not looking too good. Okay. Oh, going after the captain of Team Kick. Okay. It's basically Charlotte Flair's figure 8 submission hold here tonight. The maneuver that targets the legs of her opponents versus the woman who relies on her legs so much that she's basically known for her devastating kicks. Charlotte Flair, however, goes for perhaps a rebound attack. Dakota Kai reverses. Oh, and she gets a famous Flair chop right there, and then another one, but now a chop again in response. However, Charlotte Flair catches her there, and oh my god, absolutely thunderous was that chop right there by Charlotte. And Charlotte Flair waits for Dakota Kai to get up, grabs her. Oh wait, no, gets countered. Roll up attempt, 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. You gotta think Dakota Kai also knows how big of a matchup this is for her career. Oh, and then a kick right to the stomach takes her down. Perhaps going for another kick there, the face wash. Washing her entire head with the boot of Dakota Kai. Okay, Dakota knows that Charlotte has a lot of momentum coming in to Monday Night Raw, and she knows that a win over her could mean big things. However, there you see a kick right to the stomach. Oh, goes for another attack. However, Dakota Kai strikes back with a few melee strikes of her own. Counters the kick. Charlotte Flair now seems to have something in mind. Catching her. What is that? Neck breaker. Beautifully executed, and then takes down Dakota Kai with a vicious spear. And there you see Charlotte Flair's feeling it here tonight. On Monday Night Raw, Dakota Kai, she's looking up at the lights, but Charlotte Flair wants her up. She's saying, come on, get up, I dare you. And that's exactly what Dakota Kai does. Following the orders of command by the Queen, but Dakota Kai, she's not going to lay down so easily. Takes down Charlotte Flair, going after the leg. However, now the leg of Dakota Kai gets caught there, just like how she's got caught there by Charlotte. In the natural selection. And now Dakota Kai is down. Charlotte Flair. Oh, look at that. That famous Flair strut. Okay, typically she would just go for the cover following that natural selection. But it looks like she wants to send a message to everybody on Monday Night Raw. Figure 4 locked in now. Figure 4 locked in deep. And then she bridges it. Here we go. The figure 8. The figure 8 on Dakota Kai. She's got nowhere to go. Center of the ring, and she taps. Well, I would say this. Okay, Charlotte Flair getting a definitive victory. Yes, of course. However, perhaps... Oh, and then laughing at Dakota Kai as the music plays. I don't know if particularly the attitude that Charlotte Flair expressed towards the tail end of that matchup was necessary at all. However, right now, you hear Charlotte's music playing. It's because she won the damn matchup. Okay, Dakota Kai, she definitely showed what she could do in the ring. Okay, truly, she is a tremendous competitor. However, tonight, Charlotte was just the better woman. And as Charlotte Flair, ladies and gentlemen, celebrates this massive victory, there you see her, okay, feeling the adulation, feeling the success, the stench of victory here tonight. Let me move on to the rest of the show. There you see Charlotte Flair coming over to Monday Night Raw. But what else is happening on this episode of Raw? Well, we got a United States Championship matchup. Okay, announced last week. Samoa Joe interrupting a #1 Contenders main event a few weeks ago between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, leading to a no contest. As such, it's going to be Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, and Tommaso Ciampa all battling it out for Ciampa's United States Championship. However, none of those 4 men will be featuring this Sunday, July 5th, 2020. You're not going to want to miss it. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be Super Showdown. I can't wait to get through that pay-per-view. Okay, a lot of exciting matches. You're not going to want to miss it. However, right now, 2 of the competitors on that Super Showdown card will be Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, the current Raw Tag Team Champions. But before that even happens, they've got to go through these 2 competitors. these incredibly offensive and absolutely devastating tag team fighters. Okay, we're about to watch a war that seemingly never ends between the Undisputed Era and the War Raiders. Okay, there you see them, the first ever Raw Tag Team Champions. The second ever champions, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, because they beat Hanson on the left and Rowe on the right. Okay, so the War Raiders constantly have a point to prove, constantly have a bone to pick with the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, and right now they are looking to get a victory against the current Raw Tag Team Champions. Will they be able to do it, or will Kyle and Fish end up gaining a massive momentum boost leading into their match this Sunday at Super Showdown against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson? Okay, this war. Okay, we keep talking about wars here on Monday Night Raw because these aren't just little fights at the playground. No, this is Monday Night Raw. This is where battles, this is where war happens. And the Undisputed Era are in a war, all right. A war, of course, against the club. That's what Super Showdown seemingly has been built around. The feud between the club and the Undisputed Era, between the four members of the Undisputed Era, of course, featuring those two men, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Of course, you got to remember, Adam Cole going to be challenging for the Universal Championship at that event. And, of course, Roderick Strong, the fourth member of the Undisputed Era. Those four men have been feuding the four competitors in the club. AJ Styles, Finn Balor, the current Universal Champion, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. Will the entire Super Showdown pay-per-view event culminate in the Undisputed Era having all the gold? Will the Undisputed Era lose their gold? Will Finn Balor lose his championship? Okay, a lot of different moving parts at that event, and tonight, the Undisputed Era's Bobby and Kyle are going to have to show a lot of movement, show a lot of motion to somehow confuse, to somehow try and defeat Hanson and Rowe. We haven't seen them do too much since winning the Raw Tag Team Championships, being the first ever Raw Tag Team Champions. However, tonight, the War Raiders, they're in for a fight, and they're going up against Kyle and Fish. A lot of history between these two teams, not just on Monday Night Raw, but in NXT as well. Oh, and then a punch right to the face by Rowe there. However, oh god, wait a second. Kyle O'Reilly, there you see showing his incredible motion, getting out of what seemed to be a pump handle slam, turning it into a German-style suplex, a belly-to-back suplex, catching the arms. However, right now, Rowe catches a kick right to the gut. Okay, it's the technical, wizardry of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Of course, their incredibly hard-hitting offense versus the incredibly powerful Rowe and the surprisingly high-flying yet always massive and hard to deal with Hanson, as now Bobby Fish goes flying to the outside. And there you see Rowe challenging Bobby Fish to get into the ring. Perhaps these two teams have a bit of respect for one another through their constant battles. Oh, goes for a forearm strike, however. Rowe reverses, goes for a kick. And now, wait a second. Bobby Fish, there you see, catching him there. The belly-to-belly exploder suplex, just launching him across the ring, keeping him away from Hanson. Smart strategy indeed. But Rowe gets out of it with a kick right to the back of the knee. And Bobby Fish now gets sent to the ropes. Ducks underneath. Oh, and leaps over. Oh, and catches him with a devastating forearm strike off the rebound, damn near taking his head off. However, Hanson now launches him there. Okay, of course, the big man, perhaps known for his high-flying antics, his shockingly high-flying actions. However, he's also got a lot of strength and power within him, as Bobby Fish shows some power there with that German suplex, somehow lifting up the big man. Lifting up the big man here tonight, however, seems as though Hanson trying to fight back here, but Bobby Fish, there you see, with the strikes, the expertly placed strikes by Bobby Fish. Okay, that's what's so dangerous about the Undisputed Era. Sure, they've got an incredible technical and submission game, does Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. However, they also have devastating strikes, unique strikes, as... Oh, there you see Hanson! Oh my god! The cover, 1, 2... No, and only a 2 count there. The full weight of Hanson comes crashing into Bobby Fish there. And there you see, okay, the surprising high-flying actions of Hanson on display there. Hitting him with a cannonball off the turnbuckle. And now hitting him with these cannonballs right to the face. These cannonballs, of course, I'm referring to punches. As now, oh god, with the strike. And then another strike there with the knees. Right to the gut and then right to the jaw, and Bobby Fish ain't looking so hot. However, oh god, it goes after him. He runs towards him. However, Rowe immediately catching him into the DDT, going face first does Bobby Fish. As now, here we go, pump handle. Once again gets out of there. Should I say just trapping Bobby Fish, not particularly a pump handle position. However, right now, Bobby Fish, he's got him where he wants him. Okay, somehow gets out of it. Perhaps this could be the moment to tag. And he does. As now, here we go. Not 1, but 2 knee strikes there. However, this time catching him, turning it into a suplex there by Kyle and Bobby. The combined strength, forcing him into the mat. And then, oh god, there you see trying to force his damn foot through the chest of Rowe. Okay, Kyle O'Reilly staple. However, it's always so devastating to watch. Rowe just trapped right now, and then stomping on the knees. However, Rowe gets up indeed, but Kyle O'Reilly trying to strike back, but now it's Rowe who strikes back. Back and forth these two men go. Rowe sends him into the corner. Hanson makes the tag. And now, what is this? Oh, what is this? Hanson, oh my god, takes him down there. Springboard off the middle rope. Surprised it didn't snap. However, right now, Hanson, there you see, taking him down there. Okay, Hanson and Rowe showing just what they can do in that ring. Okay, the combined strength of Rowe and the surprising high-flying offense of Hanson, who's on a bit of a roll right now against Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly goes after him. Oh, wait a second. He gets caught. And Hanson, now there you see, spinning around into that kick. Quite similar to Bobby Fish's spinning heel kick 1, 2. No, but it doesn't get the job done just yet. Anyways, as Kyle O'Reilly gets up, makes the tag, realizes, hey, I need to make a tag right now. And Bobby Fish gets tagged in, and here we go. Bobby Fish and Hanson, the 2 legal men in this matchup. Fish sends him into the corner, and Hanson looks to be trapped right now. And oh, it looks like he makes the tag out to Kyle O'Reilly immediately. Not sure if that's a smart idea. However, the tag team tandem offense on display. As Kyle and Fish, as you just saw there, connects with that DDT into the wheelbarrow. And is now there you see. Takes him down with the brainbuster. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count off the brainbuster. Absolutely devastating here. As Kyle O'Reilly picks up Hanson, sending him into the corner. Gonna kick right to the stomach, right to the chest perhaps. And now once again, tagging out to Bobby Fish. However, not without, oh! Using their tag team offensive here tonight. Without using some tag team offense right there. Taking down Hanson. The knees and then into the suplex, and now there you see working over the leg. Bobby Fish perhaps trying to set up Hanson for that devastating Fish heel hook later on down the line. As now, oh well, there you see, taking down Rowe. Hanson's down, Rowe is down, as now he goes after the leg once again. And now, oh wait a second, he's calling for the ending here perhaps. Bobby Fish, sleeping with the fishes, and perhaps he's knocked out indeed as Hanson gets taken down, and Bobby Fish now, oh wait a second, has him in the submission hold, has him now. Hanson's got nowhere to go, dead center in the ring, but there you see Rowe coming in, oh, and he breaks up the submission hold there as Rowe, oh wait a second, the power on display, taking down Bobby Fish. taking down Bobby Fish and then takes down Kyle O'Reilly, and Rowe seems to be fed up here tonight. Okay, the undertones of this feud that seems to be never ending showing off here tonight as Rowe takes down Bobby Fish again and now goes to the outside to see Kyle O'Reilly. And now on the mat, what in the hell is this? Oh, it takes him down there with the suplex. Down on the ground goes Kyle O'Reilly. Rowe now climbs up onto the apron, but Hanson, look at this, takes him down there. Perhaps some shades of the Dudley Boys. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count there. Okay, shades of Bubba Ray Dudley with that. However, right now, Hanson seems to have something in mind. Bobby Fish, however, gets up. There you see the kicks right to the side of the leg there. And now, oh, got a punch right to the face. Right to Bobby Fish as Bobby Fish just bounces off the turnbuckle. And now, oh God, what is this, suplex perhaps? Oh God, no, he catches a knee right to the face before Kyle O'Reilly catches a shoulder tackle. Kyle O'Reilly is down. Bobby Fish getting picked up here. Hanson's got him. Oh God, and that devastating pile driver. Being sent head first into the mat. 1, 2, 3. And the War Raiders get the job done here. Okay, what a fight we just witnessed between these two teams. Absolutely one for the ages, but what else would you expect between the War Raiders and the Undisputed Era? However, shockingly enough, of course, no pun intended, the theme song literally says shock the system, but the Undisputed Era, the Raw Tag Team Champions, take a loss leading into the pay-per-view. Okay, any momentum they might have had was just absolutely halted by the incoming freight train of the former Raw Tag Team Champions, the first ever Raw Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders. Hanson on the right, Rowe on the left, an absolutely devastating combination. They just proved it here tonight. However, right now, speaking of the Undisputed Era versus the Club, let me turn your attention to the Club.
The following message has been brought to you by the Club.
Well, as you just heard, it seems as though... Okay, this Super Showdown event that has been pretty much centered around the club versus the Undisputed Era faction warfare is apparently gonna be fed more fuel to the fire, as I guess Roderick Strong will be competing against AJ Styles at the show. Okay, so we've got all 4 members of the club taking on all 4 members of the Undisputed Era. Roderick Strong versus AJ Styles. Gallows and Anderson versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Balor versus Cole. And right now, as we are set for that Super Showdown, absolutely chaotic faction war. It's time for another kind of war, a fatal 4-way matchup for the United States Championship. Okay, it is going to be our main event of the evening. Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and of course, Tommaso Ciampa. And tonight, it's all about the United States Championship, baby. There you see Seth Rollins making his way to the ring, inside the ring already. His Shield brethren. One of his best friends backstage, Roman Reigns. Okay, the 2 men that were competing against one another, in my opinion, 2 main event caliber stars, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, are going to be battling each other in just a few moments, as they were set to battle one-on-one against each other a few weeks ago before Samoa Joe tampered with that main event. Okay, absolutely destroying any ounce of a conclusion of a true victor in that Shield member versus Shield member matchup. And speak of the devil, of course, it's Samoa Joe, the man who last week absolutely decimated Rey Mysterio before saying, hey, I want a match of my own. I want a United States Championship matchup. And tonight, he was expecting a one-on-one match against Tommaso Ciampa. That's what he demanded for. However, instead, after his match, it seems as though King Booker decided, you know what? Samoa Joe, you can have that match, as long as you can also go through Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in this fatal 4-way affair for the United States title. Okay, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, alongside, of course, Samoa Joe, and the man making his entrance right now, the United States Champion, Tommaso Ciampa. All main event caliber competitors, in my opinion. And sure, even though I don't particularly like Tommaso Ciampa and his absolutely disgusting acts, whether it be against his former best friend, Johnny Gargano, that we saw over the period of the last year, or, of course, against his bitter enemies, like Rey Mysterio. Tommaso Ciampa, an absolutely violent and destructive human being. However, I cannot deny just how good he truly is in the ring, and I could say the same thing about Samoa Joe. Okay, he doesn't particularly do things that I agree with some of the time. However, Samoa Joe is indeed one of the best competitors in professional wrestling. Okay, there's a reason why during the mid-2000s he was rocketing up the indie scene circuit, okay, just climbing every mountain before eventually leading to the WWE. Seth Rollins, of course, I will admit, not particularly used as much as he probably should be here on Monday Night Raw. However, he is indeed one of the best. Roman Reigns, you can say the same thing. Okay, there's a reason why both men are 2/3 of perhaps the best faction in the history of WWE, the Shield. However, right now, those 2 men are going to have to put their differences aside and go after the United States Championship. It's a fatal 4-way, every man for himself, and there you see Samoa Joe, the man who made sure the conversation was all about him. Oh, a few weeks ago! Okay, challenging both Roman and Seth. Come on, who wants to go after me? And now Roman and Seth both stomping on Joe, who gets up, tries to fight back, but Seth Rollins strikes back with a kick right to the stomach. Tommaso Ciampa just watching this as Roman Reigns runs towards Joe with the clothesline. And now it seems as though he's not done as he throws Samoa Joe, dumps his body outside the ring. Oh, well, there you see Tommaso Ciampa realizes the danger in the situation. Realizes that Seth and Roman. Okay, they have that long-standing friendship, and Tommaso Ciampa, the United States Champion, realizing that he is the enemy in this situation, goes to the outside, daring them to fight each other here, but Seth Rollins ain't having that! Out of nowhere, suicide dive! Going right after Tommaso Ciampa, and it seems that Roman Reigns is going to join him, but perhaps not, as Samoa Joe stops Roman Reigns from joining Seth Rollins here. And now it seems as though this is boiled down to 2 one-on-one fights. Tommaso Ciampa and Seth Rollins on one side of the ring. Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns on the other. As now here we go. Seth Rollins trying to fight back against the United States Champion. Picks him up, suplex position, Falcon Arrow right on the outside, right on the mat. On the outside. Okay, dangerous place to be, the outside area, as Roman Reigns gets sent there with that German-like suplex. You know, well, there you see Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins meeting in the ring, and here we go, Seth Rollins. Forearm strike, goes for a few more melee strikes perhaps. However, Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins now battling. Okay, back and forth, reversal after reversal, strike after strike. Samoa Joe, however, gets taken down by Seth Rollins. Here goes for the cover now. First cover of the matchup. However, only at 1 count. Seth Rollins in this exchange, the man with the black and gold on his tights. Samoa Joe, black and blue as always. However, right now, Samoa Joe ain't looking so good, as he gets sent into the corner and gets met with a forearm strike by Seth Rollins. As now Rollins, oh god, goes for a Phoenix Splash, a big swing and a miss there. However, Samoa Joe looking to take advantage. Okay, Seth Rollins going for a seemingly devastating Phoenix Splash instead, nobody home. Okay, going stomach, going face first into the mat. A hard fall indeed, however, he's trying to fight back now. The punch, and then the smack right to the chest. However, Samoa Joe tries to fight back, but now it's Seth Rollins who tries to fight back. Turns him around, seems to have something in mind. Oh, but instead, quick as a cat, Samoa Joe gets out of that predicament. Back suplex, perhaps. Off the top. Going up top here. And oh, wait, Ciampa enters the ring before there you see Joe and Rollins both come crashing down to the mat. As now, Tommaso Ciampa, there you see, going after the big man Samoa Joe. As now Ciampa, there you see, throwing Samoa Joe to the outside following the devastating fall by both Rollins and Joe off the top turnbuckles. Now wait a second, Roman Reigns out of nowhere, Superman punch right across the jaw of Ciampa. Out of nowhere, sending Ciampa to the outside in this fatal 4-way matchup. And oh, wait a second, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd on their feet. Samoa Joe and Ciampa's down. Reigns and Rollins staring at each other here, both men. Will this friendship come to an end right now? Oh god, but it seems as though we're not going to be able to get the chance to watch those two former Shield members collide as Ciampa and Joe interrupt the stare down. Roman goes to the outside, but Ciampa ain't done. There you see the United States Champion with the punches right to the face of Seth Rollins. As now Joe and Roman on the outside meeting each other here tonight. Once again on the outside. However, Ciampa and Seth both have the inside of the ring all to themselves. Of course, the only way is by pinfall or submission inside the ring. As, oh my god, Ciampa, the top of his skull comes crashing down onto the mat. However, Samoa Joe and Reigns are colliding here, and the quick strikes there by the big man. However, right now, Seth Rollins and Ciampa, to turn our attention back to them inside the confines of the squared circle, battling each other here. Ciampa has Rollins right where he wants him in the corner. However, now it's Rollins who sends him to the corner now with the punches, with the strikes. However, Samoa Joe on the outside picks up Roman as Seth has him in the corner. Oh my god! Powerbomb onto the barricade. Absolutely devastating. My god. That looked incredibly brutal there, but now Seth Rollins superplex on Ciampa. No, he ain't done. He ain't done as he connects there. Superplex into the Falcon Arrow. However, Samoa Joe now trying to fight. Here we go. Joe and Rollins now battling. As Joe, there you see with the big boot connecting. And Joe catching Rollins off the superplex into the Falcon Arrow combination. Absolutely devastating to any man. However, Ciampa gets up. He gets up after this long fight between all four men. This non-stop brawl. Samoa Joe looking to stop it here. Samoa Joe looking to stop it here. He's got the hold locked in. He's got the hold locked in deep. Will Samoa Joe be able to become United States Champion? But Roman Reigns breaks it up. Roman Reigns breaks it up immediately. And now he picks up Samoa Joe. Now he picks him up here. Samoa Joe with a punch right to the face. Oh, but he gets a headbutt for his troubles. And Roman Reigns with the spear. Driving himself through the stomach of Joe. We got a new champion. No, Samoa Joe gets the shoulder up. Of course, no lack of history between Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns. We've seen these two men battle before, as Reigns now perhaps sees an opening. Rolls over. Tommaso Ciampa 1, 2. No, and only a 2 guy who's, of course, Tommaso Ciampa. He was in that rear naked choke by Samoa Joe for some time. Perhaps Roman Reigns thought he could pick up the pieces. But now, Ciampa slow to get up, and Roman Reigns seems to have something in mind here. Running clothesline, perhaps. Even a potential Superman punch. But now Tommaso Ciampa strikes back, fairy tale ending. Roman Reigns has already taken so much punishment, perhaps the most amount of punishment in this matchup. And now Ciampa, up the fairy tale ending, he ain't done. Catching Roman Reigns, there you see. Taking him down in the cover. 1, 2, 3. Tommaso Ciampa, relying on the help of the constant battle between Roman and Joe throughout this entire matchup to his favor. Okay, hitting him with not just the fairy tale ending, but the Project Ciampa as a bit of an exclamation point here against Roman Reigns. Okay, there you see Roman Reigns just absolutely just getting sent into that barricade. Horrific to watch. Samoa Joe coming in, thought he had the matchup well scouted. Tommaso Ciampa, he looked to be defeated following that rear naked choke attempt. Roman Reigns breaks it up the last second. However, it leads to his downfall into even more pain here tonight. Roman Reigns, he might have saved the matchup. However, in the end, Roman Reigns, he cannot save himself from that man, the current United States Champion, the man who's closing out this episode of Monday Night Raw as champion, none other than Tommaso Ciampa. Can anybody defeat him? I have absolutely no idea. But the Blackheart remains champion.